June 14th, 2021. Cristiano Ronaldo sits down for a press conference before Portugal's Euro 2020 match against Hungary. He glances at the table in front of him, reaches out, and moves two Coca-Cola bottles out of frame. He holds up his water bottle and says one word: agua, water. Within minutes, the clip goes viral. Within hours, Coca-Cola's market value reportedly drops by $4 billion. One simple gesture, one 5-second clip, billions of dollars of impact. That moment wasn't just about a footballer preferring water over soda. It was a perfect demonstration of the raw, unfiltered power athletes now wield in the digital age. Gone are the days when footballers just played football. Today, the Ronaldos and Messis of the world don't just influence games, they influence markets, culture, and millions of followers with every post, every video, every carefully curated moment they choose to share. Footballers have wealth, a massive fan base, so what drives them to become influencers? Why are elite athletes spending hours editing TikToks when they could be resting those precious muscles? What's behind this shift from the pitch to the screen? Watch till the end. We'll uncover the answers to all these questions and explore how athletes are rewriting the rules of influence in the digital age. The journey. Let's rewind a bit. Back in the day, and by that I mean just 10 to 15 years ago, athletes lived in a completely different world. Their interaction with fans was limited to carefully managed interviews with traditional media, occasional fan events where they'd sign some autographs, and that's pretty much it. The relationship between athletes and fans was like a one-way street. Athletes performed, fans watched. End of story. But then something happened. Social media platforms exploded onto the scene. YouTube launched in 2005, Twitter in 2006, Instagram in 2010, TikTok in 2016. And suddenly, that one-way street turned into a superhighway of communication. Take JJ Okocha, for example. In the 90s and early 2000s, fans knew him as the Nigerian midfielder with magical feet who could dazzle defenders. But they knew very little about him as a person. What did he like to eat? What music did he listen to? What was his family life like? These were mysteries to the average fan. Fast forward to today, and look at someone like Jesse Lingard. When he was at Manchester United, fans didn't just know about his on-field performances. They knew about his clothing brand, his dance moves, his friendships, even his chicken wing preferences. All because Lingard has built a massive social media presence with millions of followers. The shift, athletes take control. But it wasn't just the platforms that changed. It was the entire media landscape. Traditional gatekeepers like newspapers, TV networks, and official club channels were no longer the only ways athletes could reach their fans. For the first time, athletes could control their own narratives. And boy, did some of them run with it. Take Rio Ferdinand, for example. After an illustrious career at Manchester United, he didn't just become a pundit. He launched his own YouTube channel, Rio Ferdinand Presents. With 1.29 million subscribers, he's now interviewing other footballers, reacting to games, and building a media empire that he has complete control over. Or look at Spanish defender Sergio Ramos. The man has 65.5 million Instagram followers. That's more than many global brands and celebrities. With numbers like that, he's not just a footballer, he's a media platform unto himself. It's fair to say that we've entered a new era where the boundary between athlete and influencer has become increasingly blurred. Why athletes are becoming influencers? But why? Why are these already wealthy, already famous athletes putting in the extra hours to build social media empires? Well, let's break it down. First, and I hate to break it to you, but it's partly about the money. I know, shocking, right? Even the highest paid footballers in the world have relatively short careers. The average professional football career lasts about 8 years. Even the greatest players rarely play past their late 30s. That leaves a lot of life left after retirement. When Cristiano Ronaldo posts a sponsored Instagram post, reports suggest he can earn up to $1.6 million per, now single, post. That's not chump change, even for someone earning hundreds of thousands a week playing football. Social media and content creation offer these athletes a way to extend their earning potential long after they've hung up their boots, and setting up the next chapter before the current one ends. But money is just part of the equation. For many athletes, becoming content creators gives them something that traditional sports media never did: control. Throughout sports history, athletes have often felt misrepresented or misunderstood by traditional media. A quote taken out of context here, an unflattering photo there. The narrative around an athlete was largely in the hands of journalists and editors. Now, athletes can speak directly to their fans. No middleman, no filter, no misinterpretation. Take Kevin De Bruyne. When he wants to announce a new contract, share family news, or express his thoughts on a match, he doesn't need to call a press conference. He just pulls out his phone, types out a message, and hits send. Millions of fans get the news directly from the source, and it goes deeper than that. Many athletes have discovered that being content creators allows them to show different sides of themselves. On the pitch, we might see N'Golo Kante as the tireless, humble midfielder who never stops running. But through his social content, fans learn about his love for board games, his quiet humor, his relationships with teammates. We see the human behind the athlete. The challenges and generational divide. There's also a fascinating community aspect to all this. Former England striker Peter Crouch retired from football and launched a podcast that became one of the UK's most popular. Through honest, humorous conversations about the realities of the game, he's built a new connection with fans that's arguably stronger than when he was playing. The same goes for Spanish footballer Hector Bellerin, who uses his platform to advocate for environmental causes and mental health awareness, showing that an athlete's influence can extend far beyond their sport. But let's be real for a second. This transition isn't always smooth. For every Rio Ferdinand or Peter Crouch who successfully navigates the content creator world, there are plenty who struggle. Creating good content consistently is hard work. It requires different skills than those that made these athletes successful on the field. Some try it and quickly abandon their channels when they realize the commitment required. And then there's the criticism. The internet can be a brutal place, and athletes who've been celebrated for their sporting prowess might find themselves ridiculed for awkward delivery or uninteresting content. Remember when Michael Owen launched his YouTube channel? The comments section was, let's just say, not as kind as the crowd cheering his goals for Liverpool back in the day. There's also a generational divide at play here. Younger players like Jude Bellingham or Jadon Sancho grew up in the social media age. For them, building an online presence alongside their sporting career isn't an afterthought. It's just part of the package. Compare that to someone like Lionel Messi, who despite being one of the most followed footballers on Instagram with over 540 million followers, rarely posts personal content and mostly sticks to professional updates and sponsored posts. Different generations, different approaches. As we move forward, we're seeing the lines blur even further. Take Marcus Rashford. Is he a footballer who happens to be an activist, or an activist who happens to be a footballer? His social media presence has transcended sport to influence government policy on child poverty in the UK. Or KSI, who started as a FIFA YouTuber, became a music artist, and then a boxer. The traditional pathways are breaking down, and we're seeing multi-hyphenate careers become the norm rather than the exception. The resolution. So where does all this leave us? Are we heading toward a future where athletic ability and content creation skills are equally important for sports stars? In many ways, we're already there. Young athletes coming up today know that building their personal brand is just as important as building their physical skills if they want to maximize their career potential. Clubs and teams are adapting too. Many now employ social media managers specifically assigned to players. They understand that a player with 50 million followers brings more than just athletic value to the team. They bring eyeballs, engagement, and commercial opportunities. But there's a balance to be struck. At the end of the day, what makes these athletes worth following is their exceptional talent in their sport. Rio Ferdinand's YouTube channel wouldn't be nearly as successful if he hadn't been one of the best defenders in Premier League history first. The most successful athlete creators understand this balance. They use their platforms to enhance their sporting legacy, not replace it. As fans, we're the beneficiaries of this new world. We get unprecedented access to our sporting heroes. We see the human behind the jersey number. We connect with them in ways that previous generations of fans could never have imagined. Is it always authentic? No, of course not. Is it sometimes overly commercial? Absolutely. But it's created a new relationship between athletes and fans that's more direct and more personal than ever before. Next time you catch Ronaldo flexing in the gym or Salah chilling with his kids, remember, you're watching the evolution of what it means to be an athlete in the digital age. They're not just scoring goals on the pitch anymore. They're creating content, building businesses, and redefining what an athlete's career can be. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the changing world of sports and social media, hit that subscribe button for more videos exploring the intersection of sports, culture, and technology. Drop a comment below with the athlete creator you think is doing it best. I bet there will be some interesting debates in that comment section. Until next time, this is where I'd normally do a fancy sign-off, but I haven't quite figured that part out yet. Maybe suggest one in the comments.